what it is, what it do. It's your girl Brittany, back better, another video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, like the video, click the bell to be notified of every time I post. You know what it is, I know what it is. We both know I post frequently. All right, y'all, say it with me collectively. We are jumping, we are skipping, we hopping, we leaping. We doing a Dougie bow, our Dougie yow into this video. Click the link down in the description box below to become a paid member on my Patreon. All right, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, y'all, so in today's video, we are getting into this list right here. Shout out to Hennessy for sending me this list and, you know, actually giving me something to talk about because low-key, y'all, as y'all know, we've said before, sometimes, most of the times right now, the streets have been dry. It is not the same now as TV. It is not the same no more. The girls is barely coming on here wrestling, very much so. And shout out to Blognay too, because Blognay had this post up to make, you know, her send it to me. Now let's get into Isaiah first on the list. Obviously, we know that Isaiah really found most of the stars. If we just being honest here, he found most of them. And I just want to go through some of the ones I think are stars and some of them that is like, okay, a stretch. Obviously, y'all already know I'm going to say Zanaya is a stretch. I don't think Zanaya is necessarily a star. I don't think that. I just think that now that TV is trying to do a transition and more people, and she's just one of the ones who hit a good lick, aka Mean Girls, and was able to transition over to like one of the main people they push on currently. Now, E.T. I definitely believe is a star. I do feel as though E.T. fell off after she did Baddies. Like, once she did Baddies, you know, her relevancy went down because she did too much on Baddies. I believe that's when us, the audience, really understood, like, the difference between what you do on Now That's TV versus Zeus. Like, she was the first example of what not to do when you go to Now That's TV. She crawled so Diamond could walk. Okay. Naj a million. Now, Naj, I definitely believe is a star in her own right. She is really like one of Now That's TV royalties, and she's always been loyal, like overly loyal to them. But I definitely feel as though, you know, she's definitely one of the breakout stars who has been able to keep her name relevant. And a little too relevant at certain times because, as y'all know, Naj, most of the time, be getting into it because she giving her opinion on something. Usually, she gives her opinion when no shade, nobody asks for it. And that's how she get herself into a lot of drama. Kenzie is not a breakout star, no shade. Kenzie is not no breakout star. I don't think nobody is around here saying, hey, when we gonna get Kenzie on another show? Kenzie, I think, you know, South Central Baddies season 3 did her thing, but Kenzie messed up, to me, when Kenzie just didn't want to get in the field like that. Like, Kenzie became very scary. Kenzie did a biggie. Like, in the beginning, because y'all know I'm over there reviewing Baddies West. In the beginning, Biggie used to be on that or play like she was on that Baddies West. But as you just seen her through the years, slowly, like gradually just got scary. And I think that's the same thing that happened with Kenzie. Joyce, I would say, definitely is a breakout star. Definitely. We know Free Bands. Free Bands definitely has motion. Sue, I would say Sue is a hidden gem, but not necessarily a breakout star because Sue don't really want to be on TV like that. So I wouldn't necessarily say Persuasion is a breakout star, but when Persuasion gets on the screen, I'm watching. Especially when she took Kenzie through there. Bree is another one. Bree is definitely a breakout star, but it's taken Bree a long time to get back on the screen. And once she did get back on the screen, though, I'm not going to lie, she was putting belt to ass when her and Cuzzo got defined. And she definitely tore Cuzzo out the frame. I think Bree stays relevant because Bree is, no shade, always in some mess. But I don't think nobody's just screaming to see Bree on TV, because we know to an extent Bree is another one who just pick and choose her face as well. Out of everybody on the list, obviously Ivory is the biggest star. Ivory, to me, when I tell you, Ivory definitely rolled the elevator up to the top. Like, Ivory took South Central Baddies, honed that. Now, mind you, Ivory had already had a following before South Central Baddies. I think she was at like 100K. Like, right when South Central Baddies happened, she had got right at 100K. So she had already had like a following to an extent. She was already somewhat popular already. I don't know why. Maybe because she was doing hair at that time, but I really don't know. But Ivory kind of already had motion. Then once she got on South Central Baddies, it really put her on the map. And from there on, she just put in the work. Like, she just put in the work to keep going. And out of everybody on the list, she is like the real breakout star. Like, just think about the South Central Baddies Confessional versus the Baddies Africa Confessional. Like, this is two totally different women. You could tell in that in South Central Baddies, she did not have it like that, Sway. And now Sway got money. And obviously, she knew how to manage her money too. She hit the lick and just skyrocketed. So I will say, out of everybody, she really did her thing. Liddy absolutely was a breakout star. I feel like 2024 was definitely Liddy's year, especially with the big Liddy. Hey, if you want this fade, come and get it. But I do, in my opinion, think Liddy has somewhat fell off. Like, because Liddy wanted to be in the background doing like the vice presidency. She wanted to do production and stuff like that. She started doing those things. So she's not as loud as she used to be. So in the ways of like being in front of the camera, I think she fell off. But business wise, you know, she stayed up. One thing I wish Liddy would do, or would have stayed consistent in, is her podcast. I think before there was a two-headed goat show, it was the Liddy show. And I think if she would have kept that up, she would have been further in her interviewing or podcast than she is now. Because right now it's kind of like dry, you know. I don't think as many, depending on who she would have there, I don't think as many people would tune in like they did at one point. Billy, I would say, definitely is a breakout star. It took for Billy to go to jail, though. I think Billy became a breakout star, no shade, like once she did South Central Baddies season 5. But, you know, Billy had been building her shit up, and by the time she got to South Central season 5, she really took off after that. So she had like a slow rise. Kayla, definitely a star. Smoke me. Star. Can't crack for nothing, but definitely a star. Hennessy, absolutely star. As long as you be good to me. Okay, now I gotta start going down. Obviously, Fly 9 is a star. Obviously, Krishan has fell off a lot. But obviously, like Krishan. But I don't feel like Isaiah made Krishan a star. I think Blueface made Krishan a star, in my opinion. I think it was more so Blueface. So I don't give Isaiah credit for Krishan. But Fly 9, yes, definitely a star. Okay. Now, these others, yeah, no. Okay, so Raj, Ball Out, no. I don't think they're necessarily stars. I don't. I think they're good for Mean Girls, but not necessarily. I think they're good for Mean Girls, but I don't think nobody is really necessarily checking for them when it comes to every show like that. Ball Out, I feel as though it's just now giving a little more personality. Obviously, we know Ball Out can fight, but if she not with Raj, is she just going to be in the corner quiet? And a lot of times in the scenes, Bala is quiet. When it's time to fight, she fight. In confessional, she talking a little more now. But when it comes to personality, Bala don't just have no big personality. When it comes to Raj, I feel as though we seen Raj by herself. She don't really hold her own as she does with her sister. When her sister around, she a little more talkative, a little more, I need that, I want that, on that type of timing. But we seen on Greek Life, she wasn't really like that. Like, she like that. It's in her. It's on her. But it ain't just coming out how it was coming out on Mean Girls. So I wouldn't necessarily say, in my opinion, this is mine, that they are like stars. I wouldn't say that. I don't, because people just now started checking for Ball Out as far as like being like a heavy hitter and stuff. And again, we've seen Raj on shows, and I don't really see a lot of people like, put Raj on the show, put Raj. I don't really see a lot of that. Asia and China, another two that I just don't feel like are breakout stars. Chanel, I don't feel like is a breakout star. Casalea, I don't feel like. Mumac, I don't feel like. Hazel, I don't feel like. The Famous Twins, I already had Motion before Isaiah and after Isaiah, but I don't necessarily feel as though they're breakout stars either. Knuckles, same way, because Knuckles pick and choose. Sky, them having Sky on here, I think is insane. Who is Stun Sky? Never gave we were Stun Sky. Barbie, yes, I give y'all Barbie. I don't know who Zoe is. Okay, let's move on to the boys that Isaiah has casted and made breakout stars. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, the only ones I'm doing more so is like Ferrari and Isaiah. Everybody else, somewhat irrelevant. And I don't want the video to be too long. Alright, so Dooley. To an extent, I would say yes, because he was highly anticipated for Playboy's New Orleans. But I will say Dooley has always had his own fan base. C, no. I think he was from Playboy season 1. Never thought about him again. Mac, I would say yes. Mac has fell off, though, in a lot of ways to me. Like, Love and War put him in a real bad light. And I don't think he has been able to escape what we've seen on Love and War. And because, like, I don't think nobody really cares, like, what he likes as far as men or women. I think it's just him still, like, denying it or, like, not really telling it. And him just continuing to get exposed has also kind of made him fall off as well. And him kind of, leaving Love and War, fighting, but don't want to fight Cassie is kind of like, all right. And even with Dawn, like, from Deja Vu, him taking forever to get in the field with Dawn was another thing. Speaking of Dawn, I don't think is a breakout star. I really don't. I don't think nobody's ever checking for Dawn. Ever, never. Solo, yes. I loved me some Solo at one point, but I will say he's another one that has fell off. Papa, yes, but again, another one who has fell off. And yes, but again, another one who has fell off. King Maul. I would say Maul is definitely still a star. I definitely think people always want to see Maul, because Maul gonna get out there. He gonna get out there. And he's funny as hell. Maul is hilarious. Cassie, same thing. Cassie gonna get out there. He don't mind very much. Landon, same thing. He don't mind. He's gonna get out there. Fun Dip, no. I definitely think Fun Dip fell all the way off. And Fun Dip put like a bad taste in my mouth. It's Zodiac House. If you know, you know. But no. Solid being a breakout star is crazy. Solid being a breakout star is insane. Absolutely not. October. I like October. I do. I love me some October. But I don't think nobody's checking for October either. No. I know ain't nobody checking for Solid. Rich Zay. No. Rich Zay built his own platform and then came on Playboys. But no. Rizé been doing this. Kai is another one that been doing this. But I don't think nobody's really checking for Kai like that either. I think we want to see Kai on Playboys again, which I loved Kai. Kai was one of my favorites. And I definitely want to see Kai on Playboys, but I do think Kai has fallen off too ever since Playboys New Orleans. Kobe. I think to an extent, Kobe, nobody was studying Kobe on Playboys New Orleans. I think that, nobody was thinking about him. It was kind of like, okay, boo, like, let's move on. But at the reunion, he became the Hulk all of a sudden. But he really put himself on when him and Andre started doing the Two-Headed Goat podcast. Trey cooling. Nobody's cooling over here. Nobody cares about Trey. No shade. Man, I think is another one who nobody really be stunned like that. But I do like Man. D. Scott is one they just going to keep putting in our face. And nobody's ever thinking about D. Scott. Okay, now let's move on to Ferrari. Obviously, y'all know that Young and Reckless has been the top show for 2 years. So, obviously, hands down, Mel and Legacy. Simple. It's nothing to talk about. We know they breakout stars. Absolutely. Cuzzo. I definitely don't think Cuzzo is a breakout star. I know Cuzzo has a nice following on her. I believe she had that before she came into Young and Reckless. But I don't think nobody is keeping up with Cuzzo like that, in my opinion. Sav. I don't think Sav was no breakout star. I think Sav is more so a breakout star on, like, the Bad Bitches Only show. More so. I see why they say she was a breakout star because they had her back. But I don't feel as though we really will stun Sav until Sav started standing up for herself. Maybe we're going to say Young and Reckless reunion. Like, at the reunion, it was like, okay, I'm fooling with Sav. Like, I care about what Sav has going on. Renee. I do think Renee was a breakout star. I do. But Renee, to me, has fallen off a lot as well. Like, she still has a nice little following on her. People still do watch her and stuff. But it's like Zeus continues to play in her face and embarrass her. So it's kind of like, pick your face up off the ground for me. And personally to me, because she was, riding Zeus so hard, if I was Now That's TV, I wouldn't even let her come back. But, they don't care. Nugs, I don't think Nugs is a breakout star. I don't, because nobody be checking for Nugs now. Like, Nugs not being on our TV for a little while, nobody's ever like, I want to see Nugs or what Nugs at. I don't never see that, so I don't think Nugs is necessarily a breakout star. And I think too early on in Nugs, like, TV career, we seen her losing. Like, of course she win, but we ain't seen her lose too. So I think that's another reason why people just wasn't checking for her like that. Crystal. I know, but I'm going to be honest. Crystal is not no breakout star to me. Like, I definitely don't think Crystal is no breakout star. And I'm going to leave it right there. Kai, I definitely think is a breakout star. But at the same time, once again, we seen her on another show. She didn't hit like that. So she's a breakout star. But has she been able to keep her relevancy? Not in my opinion. Milan is another one. Like, wasn't able to keep relevancy either. But that's all I have for y'all in this one. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Bye.